Welcome to CandleLight Audiobooks. Chapter 41. What do you want? Seeing Theo slip into the passenger seat all of a sudden, Luna gripped the steering wheel tightly, as if he was protecting what belonged to her. Theo sat back, his eyes darkening. What did he want? It was better for her not to know. Theo was now only wearing a white shirt, his collar was too tight, so he violently ripped the first button open, then the second, then the third. Luna watched Theo next to her keenly, lost in seeing a handsome man rip his own shirt off to reveal his firm chest, to the point even her beloved little white was forgotten. Theo didn't notice her looking at him. Trying hard to suppress his ridiculous, unreasonable jealousy over a car, he lit a cigarette and took a long, deep drag before releasing a breath of smoke. The moment that Theo pulled out the cigarette, Luna could no longer stand it. She stared unblinkingly at this man, the slight movement of his Adam's apple, that white cigarette held loosely between his thin lips, and the smoke coming out of his mouth. Theo felt the burning stare on him, and when he turned his head, he saw the look of hunger on Luna's face. For a moment, Theo was almost tricked by that look, then he realized it was not him she was craving for. She was hungry for the cigarette between his lips. If nothing else, Cleo was good at gathering information. His background check on Luna had been extremely detailed, from her upbringing to hobbies, even the fact that she was trying to quit smoking. Theo understood immediately that Luna was having smoke cravings. It wasn't just an ex-lover and a car he had lost to, now even a cigarette was more attractive than he was. Theo had never felt more frustrated or more insecure in his entire life. From the very first moment Theo saw Luna, he wanted her for his own. However, he decided to take it slow to protect her feelings. Luna, on the other hand, had never really been interested in him, and was always setting boundaries. She would rather hug someone else's thigh than be his wife. People say that if an ex cannot be forgotten, it means the new lover is not good enough. Does that mean he really wasn't good enough? She had even gotten ridiculously drunk over someone who had dumped her. He clearly knew that the best approach was to take it slow, and had always followed this rule. He had never imagined he would lose reason to this extent, that something this insignificant could blow all his senses away. Theo smoked the cigarette as his thoughts chased themselves all over the place. The red glow of the cigarette tip was reflected in his eyes, and he asked in a deep, low voice, "Want some?" Luna nodded without hesitation. It wasn't clear if she was attracted to the cigarette or to the man beside her. Theo flicked cigarette ash away, and took one more drag on the cigarette under Luna's naked stare. In the next moment before she knew it, his cigarette-flavored lips were firmly pressed against hers. Luna's eyes shot wide open. She was surrounded by the strong scent of tobacco accompanied by the man's cool breath. A second later, her lips were gently pried open, and smoke breathed into her mouth. Distracted and unprepared, Luna started coughing severely from the smoke. The cigarette was now half gone. With a gloomy look on his face, Theo took another drag. With tears in her eyes from coughing, the person next to him was more attractive than ever, and Theo asked, "Want more?" Chapter 42. Coughing, Luna stared at Theo angrily like he was a huge bastard. Luna's cute look made Theo laugh, humor rippling in his eyes. He stubbed out the cigarette and breathed out all the smoke before turning his head and leaning in again to cover her lips. Luna's first instinct was to escape, but a hand on her waist held her still, and that low, hoarse voice was in her ear again. "I'll do it slowly this time." And then before she knew it, her senses were overwhelmed by fierce, almost violent, tobacco-flavored kisses. Luna was kissed until she was completely addled and dizzy, as if she was floating on a cloud. The only thing she was still aware enough to be sure of was that this man was more dangerous than cigarettes. Bang! The seat back was lowered, and a man's burning hot body followed her down. Luna could hardly breathe. She felt her whole body start to fall, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, until she hit the bottom of the ocean. When the person under him stopped moving around, Theo lifted his head to see that she had heartlessly fallen dead asleep, and was even snoring slightly. Theo's red eyes turned back into their usual black, and the flaming rage in his heart disappeared completely. Was he insane? Getting all serious with a drunk? It had only been 3 days. They'd only known each other for 3 days. What was he rushing for? His attraction to this little girl made no sense. The first time he had laid his eyes on her, he had the crazy feeling that he had been brought back to life. Even though they'd never met before, it felt like she was someone he knew from the past. The moment he picked her up in his arms in the bar storeroom, he had felt complete, as if she had been the one thing that had been missing before in his world. He wanted her, all of her, for his own, and did not want to wait 1 second more. He couldn't afford to lose her, so waiting was his only option. Theo grabbed a blanket and a pillow from the back, and adjusted the temperature of the air conditioning before lying down next to her, kissing her gently on the forehead. "Good night, my girl." Early next morning, Luna woke up wrapped in warm arms. She rubbed her eyes a bit, and through the window above her head, she saw green leaves, bright sunshine streaming in between their gaps to warm her body, the sound of birds singing in her ears. Where was she? She looked around and was surprised to find herself sleeping in a car, or more precisely, in Theo's arms. Oh my freaking God. Luna scrambled up, hitting her head on the roof of the car roof hard. Theo, in a car. Damn it, what the hell happened last night? Why did she have to deal with all this crap right after waking up? It was hard not to misunderstand what she was seeing. What are you thinking? Luna bit her finger nervously, her brain spinning, and answered without thinking, I'm wondering if I really had car sex with the Big Demon King last night. That would be horrifying. Big Demon King, car sex. If that was really the case, you think you would still have the energy to jump around and imagine ridiculous things the next morning? The man sounded like he was gnashing his teeth. Only now did Luna realize that Theo was awake. She jumped in surprise, and almost hit her head again. Luckily, Theo anticipated it, and covered her head with his big, strong hand. Mr. Goldberg. Use my name. Theo sounded a bit cold. She called him Mr. Goldberg when she was hiding things from him and Master Theo when she didn't want to piss him off, and he despised both. Maybe she was imagining things, but after one night, she felt that Theo somehow seemed different. Chapter 43. Or maybe it wasn't that he had changed, but that he had hidden it too well, so she never really knew him at all. Luna noticed bloodstains on Theo's hand, and asked without thinking, Theo, what happened to your hand? Theo looked at the delicate little teeth marks, then looked at her with a smile. What do you think? Luna swallowed. Well, these teeth marks look familiar. There was praise in Theo's expression. Good eye. Cough, thanks. Luna smiled awkwardly, and then asked more carefully, was it me? You think I'm trying to frame you? You can take anther bite and see if they look the same, Theo suggested, and held out his hand. Luna waved her hands in embarrassment. No need, it was me. I did it. Then again, what on earth happened last night? Everything's in pieces, I only remember going to the bathroom, the rest after that is a blur. How did I end up here? You blacked out in the girls' room, I went in to get you, you didn't want to come with me and you bit me, Theo answered succinctly. Luna was confused. You went into the girls' room? She had really committed such an unforgivable sin. The Big Demon King had sacrificed too much for her. Then why was I sleeping in the car? Luna gathered the courage to ask. Because you refused to leave your little darling. Theo deliberately emphasized, your little darling. Luna looked at the car she had worshipped for so long, and understood Theo's words immediately. I'm so sorry, I've caused you so much trouble. Luna apologized weakly. It was only the second night since she'd moved in, and already so much had happened, she truly felt bad about it. Theo didn't respond to her words, and instead asked something unrelated. Why did you get so drunk last night? Luna's face suddenly saddened. Looking at how her face changed, Theo's inner beast started to raise its head. Luna wasn't used to sharing her worries with others, but this weight was too much to bear. She sank listlessly into the car seat, looking at the greenery above her head, and murmured, I didn't get the Ella Smith role. Theo was surprised. What? It's just a small second female lead role. I know a big CEO like you can't possibly understand, but you don't know how hard I worked for this day. You have no idea how happy I was when I got it. None of you understand. Luna covered her eyes with her hands as she spoke. All this time, Theo thought that she had gotten so drunk because of Liam. He never thought this would be the real reason. She was not sad about losing Liam, but about losing the role. Theo's brightened after the gloom he had felt all night, but seeing Luna's sad face, his heart clenched. How could he not know how important her dream was to her? She wouldn't be so stubborn otherwise, choosing to climb up step by step even though there were shortcuts she could have taken. Don't be sad, you are already doing well. Theo lifted her head to rest it on his chest. So Liam wasn't the culprit, it was Robert. Robert was the biggest investor for the world, so he had a large say in whom to cast in the movie. No one was allowed to bully his girl, not even her own father. Chapter 44. Only after Luna calmed down did she realize she had cried in Theo's arms for almost half an hour. Damn it, what the hell? Except when it had been necessary when acting, it had been 5 years since she last cried. I'm sorry I dirtied your clothes. She was very embarrassed when she saw the mess she had made of his shirt with her tears. Theo said with a hint of a smile, "It was an honor for my shirt." Luna was stunned, and her heart went crazy. She had always thought that Theo was the kind of genius who had a high IQ but low EQ. She could never have imagined that the big demon king could flirt so smoothly. She was jealous. He was better at it than she was. Theo reached out to smooth her hair in a natural gesture. What will you do next? Look for a big thigh? Luna blinked, not understanding. Huh? Look for what thigh? Last night, you said you were going to look for a big and thick thigh. You even rejected mine as not thick enough. Theo gave her a deep and meaningful look. Cough, cough, cough. Luna almost died choking on her own saliva. Damn it, was there no end to the ridiculous things that had happened last night? Master Theo, don't listen to my rubbish, I was very drunk last night. There's no way your thighs aren't thick enough, yours are the thickest in the capital. Luna said obsequiously, but then she realized her words might be a little ambiguous. Her flattery put Theo in a good mood, and humor danced in his eyes. Then why don't you hug mine? I. Luna stumbled over her words. Theo rubbed her head and finally decided to stop teasing her. Enough, I won't tease you anymore. Get out of the car and go sleep inside the house. Then you will have more energy to face your problems. Or do you want to stay a little longer with your little darling? No, let's go back to the house. Luna was naturally anxious to get out of the car. When Theo got out of the car, he stood by the door and suddenly paused. Luna scratched her head. What is it? Theo walked with long strides towards a patch of foliage. Luna followed curiously and then saw second young Master Goldberg, sleeping sprawled in the underbrush with a camera in his arms. She knew that Glory World owned not just one management company, but also more than 300 media outlets, and second young Master Goldberg was also the boss of the paparazzi. But this guy was going a bit overboard, going so far as to collect gossip on his own brother. Luna's lips twitched slightly. This second young master, should we wake him up? Won't he catch a cold sleeping like this? Theo nodded, and then kicked him hard. Cleo woke up with an ouch. As soon as he was awake, he started to cry. You're too much, why are the windows of the car so impenetrable? No matter what I did, I couldn't see anything inside. Theo looked down his nose at his ridiculous brother. Come to my study later. I have something to discuss with you. Oh. Cleo rubbed his eyes and stood up, and then looked back and forth between them, muttering. Why didn't the car shake? Did I miss it? No way. With my brother's stamina, it should have been rocking all night. Luna, why do you know what your brother's stamina is like and how long he can go for? It's easy for people to misunderstand, okay? Cleo scratched his head. Because he can beat me up all night. Luna. Fine, you win. After returning to the room Theo had arranged for her, she was completely speechless. In just half a day and a night, he actually managed to get the guest room completely redecorated. The original cool and minimalist style of the room had been replaced by warm tones. Not just that, there was a full range of clothes in the closet, all in her size, from pajamas to casual wear to evening dresses with matching accessories and handbags, all of which were top limited editions. This was inhuman wealth. Chapter 45. What's wrong? Not satisfied? Theo stood behind her. Luna face-bombed. This is not a question of satisfaction. Then what's the problem? President Goldberg. Use my name. Fine, Theo, don't you think you're being a little too good to me? He was being so good that it was easy for her to get the wrong idea. So you finally admit I'm good to you? Theo looked on her as if she was a student worth teaching. Luna. Noticing her subdued mood, Theo's eyes dimmed for a second, but he quickly recovered. You saved little treasure, and he may need your help for a long time. Is there any problem, then, if I'm good to you? He paused, and then looked at her. Otherwise, do you want me to repay you in other ways? It turned out that she had been thinking too much. Feeling that a weight had been taken off her mind, she hurriedly waved her hands. No, it's fine like this, it's quite all right. Forget it, I don't need to be repaid in other ways. She and Theo were from completely different worlds. If he ever knew about her sordid past, he might forbid her from seeing little treasure ever again. It's still early, have a rest. We'll have breakfast downstairs later. All right. After Theo left, Luna lay down on the comfortable large bed, but was unable to sleep. How could a person sleep when waiting for bad news? Even if the director and his team were satisfied with her, in the end, could they withstand the pressure from the investors? I can't just sit around waiting for it to end. She sat up and turned on her computer to log into MSN. Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. Are you online? Evil Fairy King. Wow, is superstar Luna actually free to look for shitizens like me? Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. Do you have any money? Can you lend me 8 million yuan? Evil Fairy King. What happened? Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. Can you not ask me for the reason? Evil Fairy King. I just invested in a winery. It may take me some time to get the money. Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. How long? Evil Fairy King. 3 days. Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. Thank you. Evil Fairy King. Hee, darling, this is the first time you've asked me for help. Loneliness like never-ending arrows in the void. When will you be back? I'll pick you up. Evil Fairy King. Luna, you're heartless. Seeing that Evil Fairy King had gone offline, Luna felt suffocated in her heart. Unless she was forced to, she didn't want to owe anyone any favors, especially an ex. She knew that her doing this type of equivalent exchange had hurt his feelings, but she had no choice. She had stopped having feelings long ago, and she didn't want them ever again. She didn't want to borrow money from Theo because she had involved the Goldberg family enough already, and she really didn't want to become even more involved with them, especially when it came to money. An hour later, she finally got the call she had been dreading. It was Sophia. Luna's hand curled into a fist, and she took a deep breath. Hello? Don't forget that filming starts at 9. Find your own way there. I have to look after Emma, so I have no time for you. But since you're so capable, you don't need me anyway. Sophia was sharp-tongued as ever, but today her tone was particularly biting, as if Luna owed her a lot of money. What? Filming? Luna was stunned. Are you still asleep? Hurry up, don't be late on the first day. Sophia said impatiently before hanging up. Holding her phone, it took Luna some time to come back to earth. What was going on? Hadn't she been replaced? Luna rolled out of bed and paced for a bit before finally calling the director. Hello, Director Hopper, sorry to bother you so early, but I have something to ask you. Is this about Chairman Brown wanting you replaced? Yes. Luna immediately felt anxious. Robert Brown had really gone and done it. Chapter 46. Luna, producer James, writer Lucas and I are very pleased with you, but reality is cruel. We can't make films on feelings alone, the most important thing is funds. Sometimes we have no say when it comes to casting. Who does? The one who puts in the most money. As Luna listened, her heart sank like a stone falling to the bottom of the ocean. Had she been replaced after all? Then why had Sophia told her to go to the filming? Chairman Robert did look for me last night. He felt you were too new, and was not in favor of using you. However. David paused. Luna wanted to pull the director out of the phone and shake him. Can't you just say it all at once? But you were lucky, Luna. Another investor was very impressed with you, so make sure you do your best. Really? Luna's fallen heart was suddenly lifted. Don't be too excited. She felt that she had been played by the director. Director Hopper, you did that on purpose. You almost gave me a heart attack. Ha ha ha, how can youngsters be so weak-spirited? Can you please tell me clearly, have I been replaced or not? You haven't. That investor put in $50 million, which is the sum of the Brown family and Starlight Entertainment's investments combined, so he has the final say. Aren't the investors of the movie just the Brown family and Starlight Entertainment? Where did a third one come from? Luna felt it was a little strange. The investment came in at the last minute, you'll find out later. David was in high spirits. An investment of 50 million yuan out of nowhere, added to the existing funds, amounted to a total of 100 million. What was more, Luna, whose casting he was the most satisfied with, wouldn't be carelessly replaced on the whims of an ignorant investor. How could he not be happy? Okay. Thank you, director. The moment Luna hung up, the door was opened by a little, sleepy-eyed Bun. She was so happy she screamed, then rushed to hug him and kiss him fervently. Darling. You are indeed my lucky star. You save the day for me every time. Outside, the big demon king was gloomy as he watched Luna kiss his son warmly. When it was actually because of his efforts. Well, forget it. As long as he could see her bright smile, nothing else mattered. Theo strolled over to them. Why so happy? Luna cuddled the little Bun, who was giddy from her sudden affection. The director just told me I haven't been replaced, and that the drama's largest investor is very impressed with me. Really? Congratulations. Theo told her in a deliberately serious manner. Luna stroked her chin thoughtfully. But the director didn't tell me who the investor is. It has to be someone with exceptional taste, and an extraordinarily good eye, and also extraordinarily handsome. Theo smiled. Do you really think so? Of course. Luna defended, but then something occurred to her. But I'll be filming probably throughout the day, and sometimes in the evening. What do we do about little treasure? Theo didn't reply, and just stared at his son. Luna's hugs and kisses had absolutely delighted the little Bun, and even with this piece of bad news, he still looked happy. He ran to his room. Luna was nervous at the thought that he might lock himself in again. Unexpectedly, he quickly returned, a tablet in his hands. On the tablet, fighting. Luna was almost moved to tears. Thank you, darling. You are indeed my angel. Theo looked at them embracing each other with unprecedented gentleness in his eyes. Chapter 47. Filming started today in a studio backlit on the outskirts of the city. The first scene to be shot was the palace banquet, where the emperor was receiving visiting envoys. 7th Prince Noah Badgley and his consort Jenna Wilson were engaged in a battle of wits with the envoys. Luna's character Princess Lena only had a minor role in the scene, she only needed to act as an enchanting ornament sitting beside the emperor. Even so, for just a small role, wearing so many layers of the traditional dress on such a hot day was a real pain. It didn't help that Luna's costume was extremely complicated. Her clothes weren't just the thickest, her headpiece itself also weighed several kilograms. After one shot, she was drenched in sweat inside her costume, though no one could tell. The director yelled, "Cut!" Emma's two assistants came up to her straight away. One gave her a hand fan and the other a bottle of water. A cooling mat had already been arranged for her on her chair. Luna didn't even have one assistant. She didn't even get to drink any water after filming. She had another scene later, so she couldn't take the costume off yet. She could only undo her collar to cool off. Everyone was praising Emma's acting, and the director also complimented her performance. However, he turned back to the camera to review Luna's scenes. Although she had no lines and only appeared a few times, her expression was on point. She looked idle and bored, yet also carried an air of contempt for the people around her, since she was preparing to destroy the country with her own two hands. Good, he wasn't concerned anymore. At this time, the production assistant Alan shouted excitedly, "Teacher Brown, your boyfriend is here to visit you." Of course, by Teacher Brown, he meant Emma. Dressed in a refreshingly casual style, Liam walked over, and behind him two of his men followed with a large box filled with ice cream for everyone. "Wow! It's Haagen-Dazs. Thank you for the treat, Master Liam." Teacher Brown is so blessed, her boyfriend came to visit on the first day. Oh my God. They are so lovey-dovey. Why are your mouths still flapping when you're eating? Emma pouted. She then took some ice cream over to Luna. "Junior Sister Brown, have some." "Thank you." Luna accepted it politely. This woman never got tired of pretending to be an angel in front of other people, especially when Liam was around, whereas Luna was tired just watching her. It was a good thing her specialty was acting, so she didn't mind playing along. After she returned to her seat, Emma looked at Liam. It seemed like she had something to say, but was unsure whether to say it or not. She eventually said hesitantly, "Liam, I'm a little worried about Luna." "Why? What's wrong with Luna?" Liam asked immediately. "You know how last night was the opening ceremony? My dad also came, and he saw Luna there. I don't know what Luna said to him that made him so angry. He even talked about switching out the actress for her role. How did it turn out like that?" Liam frowned. "I don't know either. When I went over, all I saw was Dad's angry face." "Then what happened?" "It seems that Luna was not switched out." Liam glanced at Luna. Despite the sweat running down her face, she was reading the script attentively. Her small face looked pitiful under the sun, but it was still eye-catching. Emma seemed reluctant to continue speaking. "Dad called the production team last night, and they promised they would use someone else, but this morning, someone anonymous suddenly invested 50 million yuan into the movie, with the only condition being that the second female lead has to be Luna. I'm worried that..." Liam's face had grown darker as he listened, and eventually he said heavily, "I know Luna. She would never do that kind of thing." "Liam, you are too naive. What kind of place is the entertainment industry? Who wouldn't change after entering this industry? I am so lucky that I have Dad and you to support me, but Luna does not have a good relationship with the family and refuses to accept our help. Don't tell me you don't know what happens to a pretty girl with no power or influence in the entertainment industry." Liam's face grew more blank as he listened, and he looked lost in thought. "Luna, someone is looking for you." The production assistant yelled then, his voice sounding very excited. In that moment, everyone turned to look. Because it was too eye-catching. Red roses. Hundreds of red roses were being slowly brought in. Chapter 48. Before anyone could react, the whole filming site had become a red ocean. Luna was holding a card, and her face was black. There was one sentence on the card: "Remember to pick me up, evil fairy king. Miss Brown, please sign for the delivery." "This, can I not sign? Leaving it all here would be a nuisance for work." Luna tried to politely refuse the delivery. "Unfortunately no, we promised the customer that we would only leave after you signed for it." The flower boy looked troubled. Beside her, the props manager hastily said, "Luna, accept it, accept it. It just so happens that we need to use roses later for one scene." "Thanks to you, We won't need to spend so much effort preparing them later. Since the props manager had said so, and Luna didn't want to make things difficult for the delivery boy, she could only rub the skin between her eyebrows and sign for the flowers. At this time nearby, everyone was gossiping with admiring faces. Oh my God. So many roses. So romantic. Who sent them? Still need to ask. It must be an admirer. Beauties are really treated differently. Someone already sent flowers on the first day. And hundreds of them. Emma's assistant, Caleb, then said in a seemingly casual way, "It looks like a lot, but actually doesn't cost that much." Right after she spoke, yet another person suddenly came over looking for Luna. It wasn't anything elaborate this time. The person carefully handed her a small box. Everyone was insanely curious as they stole looks at the box, trying to figure out what it was. Luna opened the box with a suspicious expression. Inside was a large, sparkling diamond, with a note that had 4 words on it, "Long time no see." It was signed, YS. Seeing these 2 initials, Luna's face grew blacker. Fuck. Did these 2 arrange this together? She just wanted to keep her head down. Why did it have to be so hard? Luna had received both the flowers and the diamond before half the day was over. The drama crew was already gossiping like mad. Oh my God. That diamond is crazy big. It's so bright, I'm going to go blind. Luna's admirers are crazy. This time, Caleb had nothing to say, but still whispered waspishly, "Who knows whether the diamond is real or not anyway?" Luna sat down heavily in a chair, and looked as if her life was ending. What was supposed to come, would come. There was nowhere to hide. There was no helping it. Luna could only apologize to the director. "I'm sorry, Director Hopper, I didn't mean to trouble the crew." David did not mind, and smiled as he waved his hands. It's natural for a fair lady to have admirers. It's all right, we're going to use your flowers after all." Not far away, Emma looked calm, but was in fact gnashing her teeth so hard in hatred she almost broke them. How could she not be jealous? This country bumpkin who had been like dirt then could now make men mad for her, and could easily obtain the things that Emma had to scheme so much for. Before filming for the next scene started, Luna found a corner to make a quick phone call. "Hey honey, did you receive my delivery yet?" The voice on the phone was easygoing. "Adam Byron. Fuck your uncle. You did this on purpose, didn't you?" Compared with the voice, Luna sounded much angrier. "Tut tut, you are the first one to receive my roses, yet you don't want to fuck me but my uncle instead. You have such bad taste. Don't try to change the topic. What do you really want?" "I don't want anything, I'm just reminding you to pick me up at the airport." "You promised me already. You still dare ask me to pick you up? You're not afraid I'll bring a 40-meter-long knife with me to chop you to death?" Luna suppressed her desire to kill this person. "Are you backing out on your promise?" The voice on the phone turned cold. "The condition for picking you up was that you would lend me $8 million, but now I don't need it anymore. Didn't I already send a message to tell you?" "I don't care, you already promised me. Even though you don't need the money anymore, I agreed to help as soon as you asked, and it was for such a big amount. I was sincere. You hate to owe people favors, right? Doesn't this count as a favor?" Chapter 49. Luna clutched her forehead and paced back and forth. "I won't talk about how you sent flowers to trap me now, but you know that the news about you coming back next month has already been leaked. Your fans and the media will all be at the airport. You want me to pick you up? You want them to tear me apart? Adam, I dumped you once and you want to take revenge just for that? Do I? I'm giving you a free pass to become famous. So many small stars pray for this kind of opportunity and can't get it. No. Need. Fine. If you don't come, I'm going to let the whole world know that you dumped me. I don't care that I'll lose face, I want everyone to carry out justice for me." The man on the line said, like he couldn't care less anymore. "You." Luna was so angry that she felt her lungs would explode. The most stupid thing she had ever done in her life was to provoke the disaster known as Adam. Small one, you think I don't know how to deal with you? Luna smiled with contempt. Fine, pick you up, right? I'll be there. Don't regret it then. Actually, it wasn't difficult to deal with Adam. He was just unhappy about being dumped by a girl for the first time, so he just wanted to make some trouble for her. He would stop once he was satisfied. Her biggest headache was the devil who had sent the diamond. Forget it, she didn't care anymore. There is always a solution to a problem. Luna, someone's looking for you. As soon as she was done, Luna heard the production assistant Alan calling for her, which made her really want to run away. Who was it this time? It still wasn't over. Everyone in the crew was excited. Was it going to be something even more elaborate this time? In one corner, Caleb's expression was one of disdain. These tacky old men only know how to waste money. So low. Miss Brown, hello. It was a timid girl this time. She looked unhappy and nervous, as if she had done something wrong. In front of a girl like this, Luna couldn't be angry even if she wanted to. It's okay. You were looking for me? I'm here to give you something. The girl opened what looked like a white cooler box. As cool vapor poured out of the box, Luna saw 3 bottles that looked like they contained red, yellow, and green fruit juices. This is... Luna's lips twitched a little. She had watched a lot of palace dramas, and her first reaction was that someone wanted to poison her. This was personally made by our little young master. This is watermelon juice, orange juice, and green bean juice, the girl replied. Who is your little young master? Luna asked suspiciously, trying to recall whether she had offended a little young master who likes to make fruit juice. The girl indicated she should read the note on the bottle. Taking the note off, Luna saw just one English word written on it, fighting, followed by a drawing of a heart. Luna could imagine how the other party must have blushed and pursed his lips when drawing the heart. It's little treasure. In an instant, the look in Luna's eyes turned soft, and her turbulent mood immediately calmed. At first, she had been most worried about having too high a profile when starting her career, which could stir up unnecessary trouble and gossip. But now, when she thought about it, why should she care so much about the opinions of people who cared nothing for her? If she constantly worried about what people thought of her in this industry, wouldn't that just be too exhausting? Back then, it was because she cared too much about what those contemptuous class elites thought of her, about her parents' attitude and Liam's thoughts, that she gradually lost her confidence and her own identity. She already understood this, yet had let one instance like this shake her. She just needed to be herself and keep a clear conscience, and one day, she would prove herself using her own strength. She was fighting only for the people who cared about her. Chapter 50. You can put it down, help me thank your little young master. Luna said. She took out her cell phone to send a text message to Little Treasure. While the people in the production crew looked like they were busy doing their jobs, all of them were actually staring in Luna's direction, very curious about what had been sent to her this time. In the end, it seemed to be 3 bottles of juice. The first time, Luna had looked troubled by the roses. The second time, she hadn't seemed very surprised or pleased with the diamond. But now, she had a happy expression on her face, and was texting cheerfully. Everyone exclaimed. Ah, sure enough, money doesn't work on beauties these days, it's the heart that matters the most. That's right, didn't you hear the girls say just now that the juice was personally handmade? That's so sweet. I bet the one who sent the juice will be the one to win the heart of the beauty in the end. Then I bet it's the one who sent the diamond. Why is no one betting on the person who sent the flowers? After drinking the fruit juice and green bean soup, Luna was fully revived as they continued filming. At the same time, Theo was at home, having taken the time off to accompany his son, when his cell phone sounded with a ding. It indicated that there was a new text message from Luna. Theo opened it, and then the corners of his mouth tilted upward slightly. Darling, thank you for your juice and green bean soup. They were super delicious. Serengio. Theo looked at it for a long while before beckoning to his son, who was motionless as he looked blankly out the window. "Little treasure, come here." Little treasure ignored him. Theo sighed slightly. "It's a message from your Auntie Luna." Little treasure ran at him like a rocket, and jumped up to reach for the cell phone. Theo raised it out of his reach. "I can show it to you, if you call me Dad. Little Bun's face was full of protest as he refused to cooperate. It was only until his son was so fitful that he almost cried, that Theo finally relented and handed him the phone. Looking at his son read the text message with pure satisfaction on his face. Theo's expression was worried. It was probably because there was very little in the world that could distress him, that God had sent Little Treasure to test him. Little Treasure was very clever. He had only been 6 months old when he started speaking. Although he had a quiet character and didn't speak much to begin with, ever since that accident, he had not spoken ever again. He had missed too many parts of Little Treasure's childhood, and when he wanted to make up for it, he found that it was too late. He wondered if the day would ever come that he could hear him call him Dad again. Little Treasure stared at the phone for a long time, as if there was something that he didn't understand. Then he went over to his father, and pointed at the phrase, Sarangio, with his little finger, probably asking him what it meant. "Modal particle, it doesn't have any special meaning," Theo replied seriously. "Pooh, Appa, you're not cultured, don't misguide Little Treasure. Sarangyo means, I love you in Korean, okay?" Cleo skipped over, making the shape of a heart with his hands. When Little Treasure heard this, he gave his father a disdainful look, then ran off to continue juicing fruit. Theo was fluent in 12 languages. If Luna had written in Korean, he would have definitely known it, but written this way, he didn't understand it at all. "You don't have to work?" Theo looked askance at Cleo, with the expression of a boss managing his employee. Cleo immediately moved a chair over to sit in front of him, a thrilled expression on his face. "Boss, I have something very important to report to you." Theo couldn't be bothered to speak, his expression indicating that if Cleo wanted to fart, he should just do so. Cleo waved his hands with extreme excitement. "Do you know what I just heard? Today, Luna's admirers sent her gifts on set. The fruit juice and green bean soup that Little Treasure sent her," Theo answered calmly. "I know, but before those, other people had also sent her gifts. Furthermore, it was 2 of them. One sent red roses which covered the whole film site, and the other sent a big diamond." Theo's slowly started to grow cold. On such a hot summer day, it helped immensely to relieve the heat.